So stupid. So stupid. Sometimes I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Nice to see you on this Thursday. Thank you for joining us. We had a good show today, man. We got Roxy and Brett back in the house. I started watching Severance. We're going to talk about that. I watched Willow. We're going to talk about that. Brett watched Guardians, the Christmas special, holiday special. We're going to talk about that. Sam Jackson had some retorts to Quentin Tarantino's comments about Marvel, I guess Marvel actors not being the draw. I don't know what it was. He said something about Marvel characters, and then it seems like always there's some prominent filmmaker that's something about superhero and then movies, and then the actors retort. Well, that's happening again. It's happening with Tarantino and his buddy. Hey, bring your buddy. And what else? Well, Roxy's going to do her TV pick. She got a bunch of stuff. Talking about that Wednesday show. I was surprised because she sends me a list. And I said, why isn't Wednesday on there? It's literally the first thing she sent. It says Wednesday, but I realized that we tape on Wednesday, so I thought she meant Wednesday. But that's all the stuff that goes on in my head. How about you guys? I'm glad that it's all working out for you. That's it. What else you got to do? Well, I think you should subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done that already, show a little class, will you? Speaking of that, show a little and get yourself a shirt. Get yourself a Top Gun guy shirt. How about that?
The Top Gun guy?
Who?
The Top Gun guy?
Yeah, the Top Gun guy. Get yourself a shirt there. Capes and Cows, big thing. Sith Council. Yes, Roxy, Sith Council still annihilating the big thing. I'm sorry. Patreon. Patreon's been great. Patreon. Yesterday I did an actual podcast with one of the patrons. There's a tier that we do where you could do a podcast with me. And we did a full podcast. And
Wow.
It's called On With. And I was on with one of the patrons. And it was great. It was a really fun time. I had a blast. All right, let's do it. Let's get into the show. It's me, it's you, it's everybody else. Willow. We're going to talk about Willow today? Yeah, we'll talk about Willow. Absolutely, we're going to talk about Willow. But before we do that, I also want to talk about the big thing. Great, that's the show. Why won't Bubbly sponsor us? Why won't Bubbly sponsor us? Oh, Bubbly. Shubbly dubbly doo. Fleetly fleetly flee. He's ahead. Roxy, Roxy, roo. Doo-dee doo. You like my songs, Roxy?
Yes, Kristian.
Thank you. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's okay, though. I do that all the time at home. I'll sing something really stupid. I go, you like that song? Yeah. And my 5-year-old doesn't even look up. Goes, no. She's... Yeah. Anyway, I took the old one. I took the old one to
She's so old.
Yeah, to the Willow premiere last night or 2 nights ago, I guess, by the time this airs. I'll tell you, I put my review out about it, and what I told you outside is the same thing I'll tell everybody here too. The first 15 minutes, brutal. CW acting, it's like you have modern acting in this fantasy world. Like, hey, we need to get the prince down to the thing. Yeah, sure. Where you got to go? Where should I go? There's this line that drives me nuts, and I've quoted it so many times. I hate it. It's so stupid. Hey, we're supposed to get married. That's weird.
Oh, jeez.
I went, oh, my God, what am I watching? It does get better, though. It gets significantly better, and I'm so curious. I think at this point, when I'm this show airs, I'll be looking at the comments to see what everybody thinks. But I don't know. Roxy, you haven't really heard much about it, huh?
No, not really. Who's the show for?
I would say it's definitely geared towards the fans of the... I wasn't sure at first if it was geared towards the fans of the original movie, and it is. It hits nostalgia points. It hits that fantasy button, but it takes about 15 minutes to really find its voice, and by the second episode, you're locked in as a fantasy fan and a fan of the first movie.
So you think it's more for old fans than new fans?
No, because I do think that I think that they were trying to do what Cobra Kai did, and that's get a new, younger audience to combine with the older cast in this nostalgic feel. Because Warwick Davis, once he shows up, he steals the show, and as he should. It's called Willow. But the kids are really where they're putting everything into in this new generation. And I only really thought that in the first 15 minutes anyway, the one who stood out is the same actress who plays Infinesse, and she was in Falcon and Winter Soldier. She's fantastic. She's great. I got to get her name.
You let Vivi watch the Cobra Kai show?
Not yet.
Okay, because I would think that would be more aggro than this show. More adult.
I mean, there's more cursing in Cobra Kai, but
Violence.
but there's a lot of violence in Willow.
Is there?
Yeah, it's like there's fights, and she had to cover her eyes a couple of times because it was a little scary, but she dug it. I mean, she's old enough now, but
Pried them right open and said, "You watch
this like Clockwork Orange."
Yeah,
We watched Uncle Buck the other night with her though.
Oh, nice.
No way.
It's weird. It's it's
Uncle
listed as rated R on Amazon. It's not rated R. It's a PG movie. But but yeah, she's like, Dad, it's rated R. I can't watch Uncle Buck, and I'm like, you can watch it because we started watching the First Vacation a couple of that's like a year ago, and that's rated R.
Yeah.
Like we shut it off because there are a couple of things that happen, and she's like, is this appropriate? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. And then they pull up to the. Have you ever seen Vacation, the first one? And they pull up to the. They're in the bad neighborhood, and he looks up and he says, "Hey, can you tell me where to get it?" And the guy looks at me and goes, "Fuck your mama." And my daughter looks at me and goes, "I don't know." And I said, "Yeah, I probably have to turn it off." But
roll them up.
Yeah, roll them up.
What's the deal with R-rated movies and kids? You let them kind of make the choice and when they're ready?
No,
or?
no, I mean,
Yeah, that's how you do it.
yeah, no.
You go like, you're 4. You
do it.
decide.
What do you
I was
say?
watching R-rated movies when I was about 4.
So different time.
Yeah, totally.
Different time.
Okay.
Because even for you in the 90s, like a different time.
Yeah.
80s, we were watching everything.
Didn't matter.
No, I think my wife said she watched the first Friday the 13th when she was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And like watching, if Vivi now, if she stumbled upon Friday the 13th now at 11, she would be traumatized.
Really?
Yeah.
I watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That was my first.
I mean, that's a lot of times that's
And that's got some
That's got
heavy
some-
I was
stuff
like,
in there.
Whoa, what's
Yeah.
happening?
it does, right? And you don't really fully grasp what's going on until later on, but it's
And I turned out fine.
Yeah.
perfect. I like you a lot. I think you're a good person.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Oh, you're right. You're just like twitching. But you, by the way, you're coming back from like being with family and stuff, and it's
Yeah, I
just
got
a
back
total-
late last night.
Yeah.
LA is fucking twats.
You're like, hey, everybody, I'm back, and everybody's like, give me a latte.
It's just,
It's just different.
I can't possibly explain how much I'm liked in Boston and how much I'm disliked in LA.
Oh, that's not true.
No,
Disliked?
by strangers.
By strangers. Yeah.
Like
Is your Diamond Dustin out here?
I walk into a Dunkies back home or like anywhere, and
Dunkies is not a donkey shop. It's a Dunkin'
Yeah.
Donuts.
and
Go ahead.
people like me.
Oh.
Like they might be dicks about it because they're Bostonians, but you could just tell like they like my energy. I walk in here and it's just like people are thrown by me.
Yeah. Do you get hit on left and right in Boston?
Oh yeah, I get hit on in LA too, but by like
By turds.
yeah. Oh my god.
Right.
Oh my god. Like I can't. It's so different. And then when I'm back home, everyone loves me.
Yeah.
I don't. It sounds so
I know what you
pompous,
mean.
but like people just like who I am.
Do you want to move back?
No.
Yeah.
Because I have a dream, and I guess I'm just gonna keep fucking living it.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
living the dream.
Until you wind up like us.
Yeah.
where we found our soulmates, but
Yeah.
then it's like we gave up on the dream.
I just can't believe that we don't get to live life twice. If
do
I
you know
was
that?
able to live life twice,
know that.
one of my lives, I would have just stayed there because it's just so good there.
Yeah.
And those are my people, and it's my place, and my people, and my people, and my place. And out here, it's just like, what's happened?
I'll tell you what though, I don't know about this succumbing to the idea that you only live once. I don't know about it because
I knew
I know
you were
you
gonna
I know
say this,
I
but
know
you're-
you
what's it
I know you feel that the lights go off. The lights go off.
Worm
Yeah,
food.
You just feel like worm food. I've been having really vivid dreams lately, man. Really vivid dreams, and I can't remember all of them, but I remember as they're going through, I'm like, when I wake up from them, like in the middle of the night, I'm like, I feel like I've been sucked into another galaxy.
You just
almost
reminded
like
me
the
something.
dream.
I'm telling you, it's weird.
I woke up so pissed off at you one morning.
Me? What'd I
Yeah,
do?
you shot a film therapy with somebody else in my dream. I'm like, you motherfucker. I swear, I woke up. You know when like your wife cheats on you in your dream
Yeah,
or something like
felt
that.
like that.
That was one of these things. I'm
You
like,
should have called me and said, "Did you film it?" Because Josh Robert Thompson wrote me. He said he really liked that segment. I was maybe do something with him. But you know what's funny is that that segment is one of my favorite things that I think I've ever done.
It's a couch thing.
It's the cast. We've done 2 of them now.
Cool.
They've both eaten shit. They've both eaten shit. Nobody clicks on the motherfuckers, and everybody who watches them loves them.
yeah.
Everyone. I haven't seen that's one few things I've seen the not shitty comments about. But nobody's fucking clicking on it. I changed the thumbnail to the Andor one.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I showed it on Sith Council, and I say more people saw it because it was on Sith Council. But
How long are they?
4 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes. It's there. People didn't know what they were. Somebody said, "Oh, I thought it was a clip from Sith Council," so I didn't click on it. I'm like, all right, let me change the thumbnail now. So I changed the thumbnail. Still, nobody fucking clicked on it. It was like, and I'm so proud of it because both of them are so good. Don't worry, I'm not canceling it yet. It's really good.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I mean, we got to figure out the algorithm I mean, I know that my face doesn't sell things, so like maybe it's the thumbnail has got to be.
What's the premise?
The last one or in general?
In general.
It's basically Brett on the couch, and I'm the therapist. And speaking to someone who hasn't watched it, but I'm the.
I saw a picture.
That's fine. And I'm the therapist, and we set it up to where, but it's the comedic bit up top of like, hey, why are you here? He's like, Doc, I got this whole thing. But then he gives like an actual review or an actual, like with the last one we did, I was like, what's wrong? And he's like, I'm not confident enough that Tony Gilroy is going to bring Cassian Andor and K2SO into canon the correct way. And then we go into, he does this whole thing, this whole voiceover of explaining actually what happens in canon to explain to people and to see if it's actually going to happen in the show. And then it ends with a comedic bit, and that's it. But people are like, this is such a unique way to do a review. This is such a new way to do this. And then it's got like the first one has like, I think Brett's review that he did on Fablemans is like 6,000.
Yeah.
And then
Was that a photoshopped image?
which one?
Of Spielberg.
Wait. So Brett said it. I got hit with it too, and I'll tell you why. You can figure it out if I show you. If you go,
Yes. If I were to crop it, I would.
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
You should. But I'm going to show Roxy, and she'll know immediately. So Brett posted a picture of Steven Spielberg and him, and he said, and Brett sent it to me. He goes, "Look, Spielberg was a fan of the review." I said, "What the hell?" And I looked at it, and then where is it? So here's the picture. And Roxy, what I want you to do is look at his hands. See his hands?
Married?
No, Roxy, they're wax.
Yeah.
Those are wax hands.
Also, there's Denzel Washington in the background.
You're trying to me step off.
Oh, yeah.
There's Denzel. There's
oh, yeah. Who's that? Oh, is that Katniss?
it's Katniss Everdeen.
Oh, okay. Here,
I don't think his hands look waxed.
Dude, I'm telling you, that place is
you don't think
impressive.
you don't think that his hands look waxed?
No, I think they look.
They look old
You don't
manish.
think
Yeah.
Really?
That's what Papo's hands look like. They
Well,
kind of
yeah,
always got like a sheen.
But Papa's
Yeah.
like 98 years old.
Yeah.
This guy's, I mean, that's good. The wax thing is great. But
I
yeah,
used to
Denzel
date
and
this guy
Hasn't-
that looked identical
Spielberg?
to him. Oh
Really?
my God, identical. And
so young him or
we actually, to young
Oh.
him. We actually didn't talk for a long time
Mm-hmm.
for no reason other than I think I almost choked him one time.
wait, no.
Okay, but I'll get back to that
okay,
part.
Fine.
But he sent me an email the other day. I haven't heard from him in like 7 years because he saw a license plate that said Sky Roxy. And he was like, is this you in your sister's car?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, I guess he doesn't hate me. Nice to
Why'd
know.
you choke him?
I didn't mean to.
Almost.
We were hooking up one time and we never had sex, but
Oh.
we were like getting hot and heavy. And I had this bullet necklace.
Oh, I feel like you told me this story.
I
You
did a
told this
TikTok
story.
about this. There was this bullet on
Okay.
me, and I was like on top of him, and
that's
he like choked on the bullet
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
point
yeah,
that
yeah.
like it was not okay, and that was the last we spoke. I'm not
It's
kidding.
not your fault, though.
I didn't think so either, but it was bad. He was like,
Maybe, I think he was embarrassed.
maybe, yeah. We never saw each other
embarrassed.
again.
I mean, except for when she said, choke on this bullet, you little bitch.
Bitch ass.
Yeah,
Bitch
no,
ass trick.
it was embarrassing. The whole thing was fucking like uncomfortable and embarrassing.
What would you do if you're fooling around with a girl and she shoved a bullet in your mouth and called you a bitch ass trick? Would you go back for another round if you got off?
I think so, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think so.
If you didn't choke and die.
If you didn't
yeah.
choke and die and it was good, like would you go back?
Couldn't replicate that again, though. You'd be like, nah, you better come up with different.
Give me a
one.
little
You
bitch,
can't-
little bitch ass trick.
Never used that one.
You could tell
See how
we,
it goes.
we got it.
She's going to slap me in the balls with a ruler.
He looked. I have to show you guys a picture. He looks identical to him.
He does.
Yeah, and he's a director.
Okay, well, you got to send the picture. I promise we'll talk about things today. But I also wanted to show.
Like what?
I don't know yet, but I wanted to also tell Roxy. Because what I haven't shown Roxy is the there's a clip, Rox, of I do the Richard character that I've been doing forever.
Yeah.
So my buddy sent me actual audio from my buddy Richard, and and a few of my friends listened to it and never heard it before. And Kate heard it and said, "I sent it to you, right?"
Yeah, yeah.
and it said that it was a dead-on impression and my best impression. So I want to see if Roxy and the audience thinks that now that they can actually have a reference to what Richard really sounds like, if my impression is good. All right, so Roxy, here it is. This is the video.
Introduce it in your Richard voice.
All right, listen, Roxy, I got to be honest with you. Me and Kristian, we were hanging out by the diner, and the next thing I know, I went to the crap shoot, and I bought myself a chocolate milk, and it was delicious.
All right, here, this is really Richard. You'll be able to hear it in a second. Nobody can really see this. Just hear it.
I knew I shouldn't have brought you, Murph. I knew it. How's everyone feeling? Yeah? What are you throwing? Come here, Rachel. Take your hand off. Come here, sit up straight. Down. How's that look? Take the snap. Come on.
Here, right here.
Come on, let's go to a bar in the Hamptons. Down for a Kristian?
Not enough money, I would.
I got money for you.
And
I got lots of money.
I'm sure I gotta pay it back too.
Punk. You're a
Can't.
punk.
Punk.
I got money for you.
Is he talking to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was me holding the camera.
First of all, you sound so different.
Oh, back then?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
so different. Second of all, this looked like, I'm not fucking with you, a movie. It looked like this was like a scene from a movie. I know these guys.
Right.
Like, I love these guys.
Right.
Your impression is dead accurate.
So I'm telling you, like I was like, and I tried to call him. I said, hey man, I haven't talked to him in years. I've been doing an impression of you. I gotta get you on the show. He won't respond to me. I was like really close with him too. I just haven't talked to him a bit. But
That was an amazing video. Have you seen mid-90s?
yes.
The
one with the
A24,
yeah, the
Jonah
one
Hill.
with Jonah Hill. Yeah, I had that kid on one-on-one with Kristian.
He was
years ago.
great.
Yeah.
That reminded me of that.
back
Like
then.
some kind of
Yeah,
like,
I can't show the footage for the people involved in it, obviously, but like if it wasn't anything bad in it, but I don't know if they want to be.
no, they're just like all around a table drinking,
Yeah.
throwing a football or like whatever.
Hey, listen, I got to be honest with you. Hey, Murph,
You remember I told you the story about him shitting in
Yeah.
the helmet? Murph was the one sitting on the one who went like this. He was amazing.
you shit in the helmet. So if anybody ever wanted to know if it was an accurate representation,
I got money for
I
you.
got money for me and Mrs. Garrett. We're going to be down at the slots.
I got money.
That sounded like sluts.
Well, it wasn't. Maybe if your mind wasn't in the gut and you weren't choking people with bullets.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. What's your dating life like at the moment, Rox?
DOA.
Oh yeah, what happened? So you had some.
So
update.
I got on Hinge.
You're unhinged.
I got on Hinge. Got on
We knew
Hinge.
that.
You know what
Could
Hinge
figure
is, or
that
you
out.
don't know what that is? You heard of it?
I was calling this singer Dua Lipa. You think I know what Hinge is?
No, you know what Hinge is?
I know what Hinge is, but I can't remember if that was
Dua Leaps.
because
That stuck with me in a way that I don't think you intended. No, everybody comments on my shit. Dua Lipa, Dua
oh
Lipa.
no, it's your win a
love
goldfish over there, isn't it?
I'm cool with it. Dua Leaps.
I thought Hinge was more of the hookup site.
No, that's
than,
Tinder.
oh, okay.
So what's Hinge?
Hinge
I don't know if I want to know.
is a dating app.
No.
I'm not good at this shit. Like, I think that I look on paper not like who I am in my soul. Because, like, I think I look like this, like, blonde Cali girl now. And then, like, I start talking to people, and they're fucking thrown. And, like, anybody who likes me
That's why the
is
Boston people
expecting
love you.
one thing, and then everybody else is like, whoa.
So you just nailed why Boston people love you.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're Boston through and through.
Yeah.
But you look like a California chick.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so they're just thrown. Like this one guy this week. Okay, so we've been talking the whole time I was home,
Mm-hmm.
which again, I'm a really good texter. Like in terms of
I'm terrible.
I'm a like I know how to be flirty and fun and whatever it was. But we're going back and forth, and then finally I try to avoid giving my Instagram. And I try to avoid saying what I do because I'm really it's like whatever. So finally he asks me for, I'll actually read you guys exactly what he said. This was unfortunate. We had just made a date. He asked me out. I said, yeah, I would go out with him. It was going to be my first Hinge date. And then he had been asking me for like 2 weeks now, but I had been back home. So anyway, he said to me, okay, can I have your Instagram? How should we communicate? What's your Instagram?
God,
Which
it's so weird.
it's so fucking weird. So then I gave it to him, and then he wrote,
Just look it up.
no, because it's just got my first name.
Oh.
So he said, girl, what the heck is going on here? So he must have looked at my Instagram and then said, girl, what the heck is going on here? And I said, what do you mean what the heck is going on here?
Right? Yeah.
And I said, this is why I avoid giving out my Insta. And he said, yeah, I would have lied.
Wow.
So I said,
what the fuck's his problem?
I said,
What the hell's wrong with your Instagram? Just have something new? Is it ping pong balls or something?
no, I just think like, if you
I
don't
would
know
have
what
said,
I
just
do,
checked out your Instagram. Butt stuff?
like,
That,
if you don't know what I do, I guess like, so I said, I laughed my ass off. Wait, it's that bad? So then he writes back this, which I just don't even know what to make of it. This is what he says. Are you listening or are you scrolling?
I'm looking
Are you
at.
gonna be able- okay.
So
trust
how long,
me,
when
I've
was it?
scoured
Yeah,
through
this
her
is last
Instagram.
night.
So all I see is family photos thus far. I see the World Girls pictures. Maybe it's the World Girls stuff.
I don't know.
What the hell's wrong with this guy?
I don't know. So then,
Fucking idiot.
so he said, yeah, I would have lied. I said, laughed my ass off. Wait, it's that bad? And he said, this is what he wrote back. I didn't know what to say to this. You're a hot Jew with an internet persona. I don't.
Is he Jewish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I should have said that. Sorry,
Yeah.
I should've
You
said
should have prepped.
that.
me.
Sorry. He's Jewish. You're a hot Jew.
Yeah.
Who is this? Oh, they call me Yay.
I actually. Good point. Sorry, we're not gonna slander this man that much. He said, "You're a hot Jew with an internet persona. I don't think you got hot the way you sell it. I just think you've always been hot, but now you're blonde and live in LA."
What the fuck?
So I said, I go, I don't even know what to make of that
I
response.
want to catfish this guy.
Yeah.
I said, I don't even know what to make of that response, but if I'm not for you, I'm not for you.
Yeah.
And he said, interesting, was meant as a compliment. That was me calling you hot.
You gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go.
Oh, this guy
This
has.
guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
So now I have a fucking date with him set for this weekend.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't, right?
No,
like,
no.
okay.
No, it's over.
Okay.
Nice
You guys
try.
want to know the end of the conversation?
Yeah.
Go
Hit
ahead.
us.
So he said, was calling you hot, and I said, yeah, I would have lied, was an interesting response to me giving you my Instagram, and the way you sell it was something else. I'm not sure how I was supposed to interpret that as a compliment, but I don't know your tone, so maybe. And he said, I was kidding because you had so many followers. And I said, gotcha.
All right, where's he from?
Let's look.
Just tell me where he's from.
Oh, you got a
New York.
picture?
He's from New York.
He's from New York.
All right. Now, not because I'm making excuses for him, but could it play differently? What part of New York?
It just says NYC. So city.
Well, again, text
I don't
doesn't
know.
come across.
Text doesn't come across.
It
He could be
doesn't.
sarcastic.
He could have been like this.
Yeah, it
he
could've
should have
been
said,
like,
"Listen, what's
What's
going on?"
on there?
Like, listen. All right, here's Richard. Richard sees it.
Whoa, what's going on over here? This is impressive. Well, oh my goodness, she's a calendar girl. She got friends. She got family. Whoa, I mean, she's saying she turned into hot. Fucking bullshit.
I never
She's
said
pretty
that.
fucking
So
hot.
that wasn't a conversation we
Whatever.
had. It was, how weird is that to say that? We had never
Yeah.
talked about. I wasn't like I was some ugly
don't know,
duckling,
no.
and then I never mentioned anything. He was just like, by the way you sell it, I don't think you got
Yeah,
hot.
so I'm making. I don't want to make excuses for him because he's from New York, but like he could just be funny.
This is how
Could be a
every
douche.
single
Could be a douche.
conversation is going
Yeah.
so far. It
this
it
app.
takes a turn where I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
You know
Brett,
what he
I don't know how
wants
you
to
feel.
do on this weekend?
yeah, I'm
You don't
just
get
like-
good, you're not getting good vibes.
No,
No,
not at
so
all.
you think cancel?
Yeah,
What if he's funny?
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe give him one
the
date.
date?
I mean, is a date is that?
He asked
It
me
could
to
be
go-
brutal, right? I
It could be a good story for the show.
He asked me to go to the driving
Hey,
range.
could you consider the show?
Yeah, could you think of Brett, sell her for what she should do.
Yeah. Roxy, this could be like horrible for you, but could you do it for the show?
Right.
Like, I mean, think
don't know,
about
Brett.
think about the audience.
Yes, really think. Please think of the audio.
Okay.
What is this? I think Roxy's needs to be adjusted, but
I think that I need to be adjusted as a person.
I don't think you do. I think that this is what I do not envy the kids today with their dating, because you that if that was a phone conversation, you would have known if he was being sarcastic or
Right.
if he was being whatever. Like, this is, you're going off a text, which, you know, look at that Key and Peele sketch where they're like,
Yeah.
oh really, I'm all good, you know, where they go back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah, yeah.
So you could be reading it wrong, but it did just
It's weird.
there's a lot going on there. To me, was like
know.
There's some social skill this guy doesn't have to like give a good
Do you
compliment.
guys want to know how many people I talked to while I was home since I've downloaded this now 2 weeks ago?
You mean
On
dating
Hinge?
people?
No, how many people I've spoken,
16.
matched and spoken
16.
to? 68.
Oh my god!
68.
Well, let me ask you a
people.
question. You guys
It's like-
you guys like Lord of the Rings? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Trade coffee, man. I'll tell you. So all these people, if they don't drink coffee, then you shouldn't go out with them. Trade coffee is the best. It is the best. I love it so very much, and I've been drinking it so very much. And if you guys haven't already tried it, and when you help out, by the way, when you get yourself one of these sponsors, you're helping out the show. You're helping out the show, but this one you're really helping out yourself. I love Trade coffee, man. I love the way it smells in here. I love it. I love the stuff they've been sending me. And if you love drinking coffee every morning, and who doesn't? You got to check out Trade Coffee. Trade makes it super easy to get the best coffee. It's delivered fresh from the final local roasters around the country. It's a coffee subscription service, and it makes it simple for you to discover new coffees and make your best cup of coffee at home every day, no fancy equipment required. Trade partners with the nation's top-rated independent roasters to send you coffee that they know that you're going to love, fresh to your home and on your preferred schedule. And you get to support small local businesses. It's a win-win. Whether you're getting started or you're a coffee aficionado, if you're looking forward to discovering something new, Trade guarantees that you're going to love your first bag or they're going to send you a new one for free. How great is that? Upgrade your coffee today with Trade Coffee and let them take the guesswork out of finding your perfect cup. Right now, Trade is offering our listeners a total of $30 off your subscription plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/bigthing. Drinktrade.com/bigthing for $30 off your subscription to the best coffees in the country. Drinktrade.com/bigthing. I am loving it, and I want them to come back. I want you guys to be able to benefit on Drink Trade. I want you to go drinktrade.com/bigthing. Please get it. I'm going to put it it's in the description, and especially for Christmas time. I got a couple things here for Christmas time. What are you doing? Cleaning my glasses?
I just want to try them on.
Oh, all right. Let's see what Roxy's trying on my glasses.
What is up? Your glasses have roses and ladybugs on them?
My wife bought me those.
They're cute.
Are they bad?
No.
Not too bad?
Well, they're very dirty, so I can't
Yes.
see anything. I feel like I look fabulous.
You look good.
Let's go, glasses queen.
Yeah.
No, it kind of
Let's
just
go.
blows your eyeballs up a little.
Oh. You think so? Use that
People already say I'm fucking crazy.
post on
eyes.
Hinge. All right, let's get into some of this news.
Oh my God!
Let's talk,
What news?
Let's talk. We got news, Rox. Start with this. This is something you were saying. I always give you credit for this because you said this years ago, and that is that Harry Potter should have a TV show. You said it years ago on Collider Live. You say it all the time. You remember that?
Of course.
Okay. So Warner's TV chief talked about Potter, and he talked about DC Animation. Warner Brothers Studio. Yeah. Is reportedly in the midst.
What's a TV chief?
What is he?
TV chief?
Did I say chief?
No, that's what it says. TV chief.
Hey, chief.
Chief.
What's
Chief
the,
of what?
What's the decision, Chief? Well, we're gonna put the Harry Potter up there. Hey, whoa, yeah, swell and kooky.
Warner Brothers Television Studios is reportedly in the midst of closing a major animation deal between themselves and Amazon. That's big. In regards to DC branded content. Studio chief Channing Dungey appeared at the UK TV conference Content London and says the studio is exploring the idea of taking animated IP to different platforms along with HBO Max. Dungey says in a statement, with animation, we used to be about staying in-house, but now we're doing it on different platforms. HBO Max is the first stop, but we were in the process of closing a big deal with Amazon featuring DC branded content in animation. Now, Dungey also said there's a lot of interest, here you go, Roxy, in a TV series set in the Harry Potter franchise wizarding world. This is a tremendous amount of ambition for that, and we are engaged in a number of different conversations. I wish I could tell you something that was imminent on the horizon, but there is a lot of interest and a lot of pressure for it. Absolutely. What's great is that you get to see the audience is so engaged and so ready. Our unscripted team did a fantastic return to Hogwarts special for HBO last year that resonated so tremendously. We did a quiz show, the Tournament of Houses, that Helen Mirren was the host for. The audience is ready. They want to go. So we're just trying to figure out what the next step is. What's wrong? Trying on glasses now? You listening to the fucking story?
Yeah, no.
I am. We're
come on,
trying to
keep-
figure out what the next step is.
we're
Chief.
listening, Chief.
The comments come out last month. Warner Brothers Television underwent a massive restructure and had to lay off 19%, not 90, of workforce across the scripted, unscripted, and animation divisions. All right, so wait.
Is it?
I have questions.
Yeah, is it animated?
I don't know.
That was a different thing. Keep up, Brett.
Major animation
that
deal.
was DC.
Got it.
that was
DC is going animated on different platforms.
Right. Okay.
Harry Potter might have its own series, Chief.
Now, but wait, so there's a lot here because
If you're gonna fuck around, you gotta still pay attention.
gotta pay attention.
'Cause you know we're still in the
doesn't.
conversation.
no, he doesn't. He fucking drifts
You
off.
dropped out. I was
Drifts
still
off into
there.
an alternate reality.
Yeah.
You
You
know
gotta
where the
stay
fuck
in
he-
it.
He knows
Don't
why
make
he's
me
here.
look bad.
He knows why he's here. Just shut up while we talk, and then you can say something funny in the middle of it.
Let the adults
Oh
talk.
my God, Brett is our version of just sit there and look pretty.
Until he says something funny to say.
He's so pretty,
He
Brett.
has something to say. That's why, like normally, he'll throw something that's funny, and then he sits in his hole. Why is that guy here?
Not a hole, it's a mountain peak.
He has no idea why he's here. Still doesn't know.
Sometimes I feel like that. I just sit there and I go, "What are they talking about?"
And that's why. That literally is why you're here. That's
And
why people
usually,
don't
can you
understand.
figure it out, or sometimes
I can.
Yeah.
It's when you get in, like when you can rattle off all these names of people that
Yeah.
work for DC and stuff like that.
You don't understand this. This is what people don't understand. Most people who watch this show understand this now. But for people who are like, why do they have the guy who doesn't really know anything about movies and TV on there? If there were 3 Bretts on this show, and it was Brett, and Brett, then
amazing.
you got a point. Then you got a point. But you don't. You have no point right now.
Well,
And
most
plus,
people don't know the names and the things and all that.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
speak for the people, Brett.
Well, that's what I said early on. Like when I was doing Schmoes No Show, I'm like, the Schmoes have no longer. They're not Schmoes anymore because you
They know
became.
They know.
You know more. So
that's
I
why I
was.
watch
You
less
brought in a
stuff
Schmo.
Because
you
now,
know?
and that's why I tell people then when I was like Andor, they're like, learn the names. And I just respond to each time the same way.
Nope.
No. Not learning. You learn the names. I'll learn the names when I learn the names.
You get your own show.
Yeah. There's tons of people out there who do all the research.
Yeah.
Wrong show. Anyway, so there is a lot though, Roxy, that has happened over the last Crystal with Warner Brothers, right? Because Warner Brothers came out when Zaslav took over and with Discovery and everything too, that the handling, I still think, and I'll reiterate this, I think that if they looked at Batgirl, said this movie stinks, and that we don't want to put on HBO Max, and they're gonna get a tax break on it, business wise,
You were okay with what they did, not how they did it.
correct.
Yeah.
And I still stand by that. And I think that initially he had a lot of bedside manner stuff that was wrong. I think people talked to him because if you notice over the last month or so, the way that he's been approaching things it's been better. Now better, not worse, better.
Less vocal.
Right, but but either way, he's making moves because he's still got to get them out of a hole.
Yeah.
Now, what they did, which
Yeah,
is
they were
True.
in the hole.
True. Yeah, it's where I'm at.
it's with him, but they lost Legendary. So Legendary, Brett, is like so the King Kong, Dune. They still get to do all those movies because they had to deal with them. But they were with Warner Brothers for a long time. Then they moved away from Warner Brothers. Then they came back. But then the guy who was running Warner Brothers before Zaslav made this deal of HBO Max and just putting. Remember when they put everything on HBO Max, like Dune and everything? Just the day of release, put it out there. Now, that's great for us, for family people, but for Legendary, who puts up the money also, they weren't consulted or anything. So they were pissed.
Oh, I remember that.
They were pissed. So then they had...
when was that, Brett?
That was probably 2019?
close, 2021. Yeah, not too
Let's
bad.
go.
You're in the area. But
The 70s?
Yeah, it was the 70s.
But then they started talking to Sony. They started talking to Sony right away. Like, fuck this, we're getting out of here. And they talked to Sony. But then Zaslav came in there and tried to mend it, but it was too late. Sony got them, and they also, one of the main reasons is because they don't have a streaming service, and Sony's going to take care of them. They have a lot of access now to the Sony library, the games, like everything. So Warner Brothers needs to make some moves now. And one of the things, so I think a Harry Potter television series, now there's always going to be people that the same way that we'll talk about a little bit, like Will Smith. Will Smith is always going to have something for people now when they watch him. Some people are going to forgive right away. Some people are going to forgive gradually. Some
You
people
mean
are
an
never.
asterisk?
Yeah, and some people are gonna forgive never. Same thing for J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling, people are like, and in very, very different situations.
Yeah.
For the two of them. I'm just saying, when there's controversy around it, a lot of people are either just never going to watch Harry Potter again, going to separate the art from the artist, going to do whatever it might be. Harry Potter is a massive IP that I think they handled wrong with Fantastic Beasts, and I don't think that the not success of that in the beginning had anything to do with her. I think it just wasn't as interesting as the original stuff. But you've been calling for a Hogwarts Harry Potter thing for at least 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I think there's so many responses to what you just said, Kristian. Number one, whether it is right or wrong, somebody that I hate to watch, for example, Mel Gibson, can't stand watching him. I didn't have that hard of a time watching Hacksaw Ridge.
Right.
Because he's not in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that you should or shouldn't watch it. It's just when you're literally staring at Will Smith, of course you're going to be thinking about controversy at some point. Even if it's only for the first 2 minutes, you're going to be thinking like, oh, how's this going to go? The luxury that Harry Potter has is that J.K. Rowling is not on screen.
Right. You could make the argument that some people could say like, well, she's benefiting from this.
Oh, 1,000%.
You understand it, but it's,
and
you're
that's what I'm saying.
I know
Mel
you're
Gibson
saying
was
resonate.
benefiting greatly
Right.
from me watching
Resonation,
Ridge.
though.
I'm just saying that I do think that sometimes we have a hard time watching something because we're literally so distracted by what's happening that we don't want to even watch it. So I do think that Harry Potter, A, has that. B, it's got a lot of other controversy that's going on within Harry Potter because of J.K. There is everything that happened with obviously Johnny Depp, Ezra Miller, but then there's also things like Helena Bonham Carter this week coming out in support of J.K., which was, we've seen people, or even Daniel Radcliffe coming out against J.K., and
Right.
seems to be a very divided group of people there. So there's a lot of controversy in this entire franchise right now. I still think that there's huge merit in there being a Harry Potter show. This franchise means a lot to people. And you're right. I don't mean a Harry Potter show.
I know
I do
what you
mean
mean.
a Wizarding World.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That world.
There's still so much good that it did. Like, I don't think that J.K. lives by the messages that she writes because what she writes is so different and opposite than her personal beliefs. It's kind of confusing at times. But this world means a lot to people. And I think that it also, like on a very surface level, it's fun. Harry Potter's really fun. People like it. There's a whole fucking theme parks and like all this stuff about it. So there's no way a Harry Potter show, I think, would do poorly. And I don't think that even the blip that is JK would negatively affect the show.
They got to go to Hogwarts. They have to.
That's what I was just thinking. Fantastic Beasts, I think for the most part didn't work because nobody really cared about any of that storyline.
It's a weird lead too.
Yeah.
And I like Eddie Redmayne. It's a weird lead.
But I think, they
The
want
character was strange.
they
Right.
want to go back to Harry or somewhere close to. I don't know if it's would it be his kids or something or would it be?
It just depends on what time period they do. But they could go into. He's not interested right now. They've definitely approached him about the cursed child or whatever, and he's not interested right now, and that's fine. I think that you can do something about the school itself, and whether it's right before the events, after the events, like during that time period, like right after, and how that's you give you that feel again, that magic, that pun intended, I guess. So like that's what was missing in Fantastic Beasts. I'm one of the few people who like those movies, but understand
All of them?
Yeah, I did, but I understand the criticisms. Like, I'm not gonna if there's some shows that have or movies that if I said it was terrible or great, you'd be like, we could have a debate about it.
Yeah.
I would not have a debate with anybody. Like, I remember seeing the second movie, with Ellis and Perry on both sides, and they both
Yeah, you guys were behind the row behind me.
they hated it. The
I
two
thought
of them.
Ellis was going to leave every minute.
Oh.
Perry looked like someone was assaulting her family.
Yeah, it was. That movie was woof, man.
I walked out going, that was not that bad.
Not bad.
But I understood everything that they said when all their criticisms came out. I was like, I get it. There's just some movies that you just like more than other people. And the last one I thought suffered because of the second one, because the last one was the best, I thought, as far as made and characters, and they went into the magic. I thought the third one was actually pretty good. And again, it was just, we got to a place where nobody cared anymore.
I think that going to Hogwarts makes a lot of sense. There's other magical schools too, though, right? In the Wizarding World.
I think so. That's a ding.
Who is it? Now you have to read it out loud.
No, it's got to be my wife.
Yeah, there's the
Gotta read it out loud.
No, because now it's dinged. They can't hear it.
there's the one with all the hunky dudes.
Yeah.
And then there's the one with all the ladies that flounce around in the blue outfits. There are different schools because
Yeah.
they were all in the Tri-Wizard
I think people
tournament.
People would love a Wizarding World show. There's so many different directions you could go with it. I don't even think it has to be with either Harry, Hermione, or Ron. Although you could do something surrounding one of them. You're right. There's always the next generation. There's previous generations. It's a Wizarding World.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
But the Hogwarts, I think we all agree, Hogwarts is what we want to see.
focus, yeah.
The characters wouldn't
Or a
necessarily be
base-
because we can't get.
Or a
wouldn't
base
get
of a
them all.
school like Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Hogwarts would be the show to do because you can do it inside like the school, the kids. What I worry about them is to go to, again, CW-ish with it, but you can go inside of that world. Maybe a couple missions happen, not to the extent of the evil that Harry and even in Fantastic Beasts, because it doesn't always have to be that. But I think you could do that. I think, well, the bottom line is, does it make sense for Warner Brothers in television to want to do that? Of course it does. It's one of their big IPs, especially now, and especially after losing Legendary and the things that they have to do. And that kind of transitions us into the other part of that story. And it's that with DC, that's their major thing right now. They're putting all their efforts into the DCU and James Gunn and all that stuff. So now you've got this move that they want to make with Amazon. And one of the things I thought that was really smart was I think they had to kind of readjust and evaluate after looking at basically Legendary going, well, you guys are so sold on everything going to HBO Max and just staying there. They said, well, let's open it up. Let's be able to go to Amazon. They're also doing it because of money, obviously. But let's go to Amazon. They have this deal with Amazon. That's a big win for them if they
Talking
get
about their
that.
animation stuff.
Yeah,
They were just
with
speaking
DC,
about.
yeah. It's a good way to promote it.
It's just hard to wrap my head around. I'm sure you guys feel similarly, like what DC looks like right now.
Right.
So it's hard for me to be like, yeah, that's the right call because I can't see the big picture right now.
Yeah, because we don't know yet.
We don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But what actually is DC?
Yeah, it's also James Gunn, had that big conversation on Twitter, I guess, where he said that some of the games would be connected to the DCU, the animation, other things too. So it's exactly what you're saying. The question is, what is it? And I don't think that they have to tell us right now.
No, they don't. It's
Yeah.
just then hard for me to get excited about anything
Totally.
and because I'm like, I will watch.
Just what is it?
But what is
And I
it?
think we'll find out. I think we'll start to get little peppering in for the but I think the
Little pepper.
little peppers.
Little peppers.
Little peppers. But I think that we'll get a full slate by Comic-Con for sure. Okay.
Real quick,
Billy.
talking about Will Smith, I just want to share with you something that happened over Thanksgiving that will really show you how Will Smith's image has changed. And they were the group of kids playing Heads Up, and my daughter, for the clue, said, "Get my wife's name out your mouth." That she didn't say any of his filmography.
Independence Day.
That's
No,
wild.
nothing. That's what she knows.
And they knew it right away.
Yeah, Will
Wow.
Smith. It was like that.
It was here. I feel like everybody's gonna watch Devotion, Annihilation. What's it called?
The one with Jonathan Majors?
No, the Will Smith movie.
Devotion, I think, right?
No, but Devotion is the Jonathan Majors.
I don't
one.
remember.
Whatever it's called, Denotion, Detotion.
Yeah.
But the new Will Smith movie out here, I feel like people are kind of like, sometimes people end up assaulting people on air. Like it's just a fucked up place that we live. But when I went back home, everybody was
Like, no.
I mean, people were like, Team Chris Rock, like saying
Yeah.
that. And I was like, oh, it's interesting that they are like, we stand by Chris Rock. Like, this is not right to Chris Rock. And I was like, wow, I don't hear that out in LA.
You know what it is? I think that and we might as well just get into the story with Will Smith in a second here too. But this is what it is with Will Smith is he's
Devotion.
Devotion. That's what I said. Didn't I say that?
No.
I just said
Wait,
that.
maybe it
And then you said it isn't devotion.
She said it's
Wait.
not devotion. I'm pretty sure it's devotion.
I think it's
You want me to look it up?
Yeah, Roxy usually does.
having a stroke.
All right, anyway, listen. So I think that what it is that Will Smith now obviously knew through his rounds of the press for this that he was going to be asked about this all over the place.
Oh my God! Every single reporter.
Every
asked him.
reporter.
Everyone.
And he knew it. He knew it going into it. And he's making the rounds and he's saying, he didn't want his crew, he didn't want Fuqua, he didn't want everybody he worked with to be the ones who
had to yield the question.
but had to take the I don't know. No, I don't want to say that. But
Take the hit.
I don't want to say that. But to, just be the ones who suffered from it, and
Got slapped.
right. But I think that what is the major thing here is what you just said about Boston. I think that if Chris Rock, who and still said not ready to talk about it, the day he decides to forgive Will Smith is the day that will everyone forgive? No.
No, but Boston would.
People-
That's kind of how Boston goes.
People would say, okay, Chris is cool with it, then,
Yeah.
and he's gone his other way. But Chris is rightfully so letting him sit in it. He's letting him sit in it, and he knows. Chris Rock knows. Chris Rock knows that if he publicly said that I'm going to let bygones be bygones and it's cool, he knows that it'd be easier for Will. He's like, fuck him, I don't want to do it yet. And he might not publicly say that, but
because of that, and this is all, I mean, now I'm turning this into TMZ for 1 second, but just honestly curious, both of your opinions on this. Do you guys think something else is going on here?
With what?
With Chris Rock and Will Smith?
Like what?
It just
the reason that was so heated?
It just seems to me like the
History,
fact,
like building.
like history, building.
I think they said that as much. I think that they were friends at the time, but then there was kind of a little falling out or something along the lines up to it. But then,
do you think that this is more about how Chris Rock feels about Will Smith as a person, or that one incident?
I think it's probably a mixture of both.
Mixture?
Emancipation. It's not
that's
on
what it
IMDb. I couldn't.
It's Apple.
Emancipation. That's not sounding right to me.
Well, it's the Emancipation Proclamation, and it's
all right. Well, look. Let's. I'm going to read this story about Will Smith while these guys look it up. What
that is right.
All
So,
right.
Devotion's the Jonathan Majors movie.
I
Why
believe
do we
so.
both think it was Devotion?
I don't know, but Will Smith was on the he was on the Daily Show, and obviously they talked about it on the Daily Show. Also, they talked about it everywhere. Kevin McCarthy, the reporter, was
I like him.
he's the best, and one of my favorite Twitter feeds ever, because people get him confused with Kevin McCarthy
It's hysterical.
all the time, and then
he
he'll
goes with it.
say something and just like, I can't believe that you're standing by what these people are doing. And he's like, is this because I said that that Will Smith's performance in Independence Day was not all? It's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. Actor Will Smith made a recent appearance on Trevor Noah's The Daily Show, where he opened up about slapping Chris Rock during the 2022 Academy Awards. Smith dubbed it a horrific night and said that while there are many nuances and complexities to it, at the end of the day, I just lost it, Asked if he learned anything from the moment, Smith said that the goal he took away is that people should be nice to one another, as they never really know what someone else is going through. You're asking what did I learn, and that we just have to be nice to each other, man. Like, it's hard. And I guess the thing that was most painful for me is I took my heart and made it hard for other people. It's like I understood the idea. They say hurt people hurt people. Smith continued to open up even more, saying that the moment was a result of a lot of internal things that came to the surface, and he had to forgive himself for being human. It was a lot of things. It was that little boy that watched his father beat up his mom. It's all that stuff just bubbled up in that moment. It's just not who I want to be. I had to forgive myself for being human. Trust me, there's nobody that hates the fact that I'm human more than me, and just finding that space for myself within myself to be human. It's like, I always wanted to be Superman. I've always wanted to swoop in and save the damsel in distress, and I've had to humble down, and realize that I'm a flawed human, and I still have an opportunity to go out into the world and contribute in a way that fills my heart and hopefully helps other people. The interview, which was going to we would have gotten to this a lot easier if I would have read this article, promote the Apple TV feature Emancipation, runs the full episode and can be found at the CTV Comedy channel, whilst the key excerpt can be watched below, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so... I mean, this is pretty much, you assume this is the kind of stuff that he's been talking about, knew he was going to talk about, knew how he was going to answer it. So what do you think about the answer, Rox?
What's he going to say?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's not right, but right now, nothing he says really lands with me one way or the other.
Did you figure it's got to be...
What's he going to say?
Right.
What's he going to come on and say, I think this is fucking ludicrous?
Or he's going to stand by it.
Yeah, of course he's not going to do that, but he's also not going to come out there and be like, everybody should cancel
And he's a
me.
good actor, so you don't know.
Mm-hmm. So it's like
tough.
I'm going to watch the movie. I'm going to see how I feel watching it. I don't think what he did is unforgivable by any means.
Right.
I don't think that anybody hitting anybody one time is an unforgivable act. Does that shit suck? Yeah, it was awful to watch and it turned us all around on how we feel about certain things. But am I going to watch it? Yeah. I just right now listening to him on all these interviews, I was just like, does this hold any water at all?
It's tough. It's tough. I'm in the place where I'm buying it, but I understand your take. I understand 100%. I get, and
I'm
I think
not buying
right,
it. Yeah.
right. But you're skeptical as like you're just curious of it could be legit. It could be rehearsed. It could be like you're 100% right. What else can he say?
Yeah.
And if you're going to go this route, this is exactly what you have to say. I am over that. Like I think that he was a 100% in the wrong. I do stand behind Chris Rock. I thought handled it completely like a professional and did it the right way and has handled it since the right way. I think not talking about it has been the right thing for him. I think he's benefited in his career tremendously because of it. But all that being said, I do
Not
think
that he needed to benefit in his
no,
career.
but he did. And all that stuff, all that being said, I am still in a place. I thought it was a terrible moment. I thought it was a horrible moment. But I think that I do believe in second chances. I do believe this is something that the guy is. There's been a lot of things with Will Smith, and it's one of those things where I understand if someone's like, I'm not ready. And it's Kevin McCarthy's the one who asked him, and Will Smith said it. People were like, I'm not ready yet. He's like, I get it. I totally get it.
What's he going to say?
What's he going to say? But I get it. So it's a tough one. And I understand if anybody was like, I'm not ready to watch Will Smith now. I feel the same way that he did. I'm like, I get it. Am I going to be able to watch it? Yeah, I will. I think that he's always going to carry that with him. And it's it's a stupid thing for me. Like, and I've talked about it many times over, which is that's like a much smaller thing. But like when my brother passed away, and I told you this, I carried so much anger with me for a year, and I took that with me on the air. And that stupid Galaxy's Edge thing happened, and I still to this day people will comment on it. There's a lot of people who now go, and I've seen people go, whatever. So people don't know the situation also, and how would they, right? But like, you get to a place where you do something, and you got to earn it. You got to own it. You got to own it. And it's like one of those things where, like, in my case, when my brother passed, I had people who told me I should talk about it. I should be talking to people. I should talk to my friends, and I didn't. And I took it with me. And that particular day, not only was I, and it's not an excuse for it at all, but not only was I ill, but I was also still not talking to anybody. Yeah. And that's a mistake. That is a mistake. And when you let that stuff bundle up, and when you're a public persona, I mean, him obviously way more than I am, but I still on enough when you take it onto the air with you pay for your own actions.
I totally get what you're saying. And this is no knock on Will Smith, but like there is a difference between you in that moment possibly coming off more entitled than you are and somebody
and slapping someone. No, I know.
It's not even slapping somebody. If he was standing next to Chris Rock, I think people would feel very differently about this. It was
he got up. He made him.
No, right.
Yeah.
Get on stage.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It was. But I'm not. All I'm saying.
Seconds between there.
I
and
know.
there.
But all I'm saying is I understood what he's talking about
Totally.
when there's stuff inside, and like his actions were completely inexcusable. But
now
like,
you are talking about it. He's not really he's not saying what you just said. This incident took place. This is what was going on. We're not getting that from him.
I don't know. He kind of said that. You don't think he said that?
You mean in his 3-minute thing? He said, I'm not I have feelings, but about what? No, I don't think we're getting that.
Well, either way.
And it's not a direct comparison. And we all have different things that we give a shit about versus what we don't. Like, some people can watch Kevin Spacey movies. Some people can't. Some people can watch Harvey Weinstein movies. Some people can't.
Right.
My brother won't watch fucking Reese Witherspoon movies because she got a DUI once. And then when they pulled her over, she said, do you know who I am? And that is his biggest pet peeve. So he can't watch her shit.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has things
everybody
that
has their
affect
thing.
them differently,
It's
which
true.
is bizarro. But, like, that's what it's going to be like with Will now. If slaps like that are the thing that get you, then that's the thing that gets you.
Right.
I think to help you ease through it, you should watch the one where somebody dubbed over with Mickey Mouse.
That's the best.
Pluto.
Keep my name out your fucking mouth.
I can't believe that heads up story though. That's wild.
Yeah, and I was in the other room. I was like, "What?"
Did they guess it?
Oh yeah, it was just like immediate.
Yeah.
Like they all knew exactly.
Well,
Wow.
Well, look, I'm hoping that not only does Will Smith come back from this and, people believe it, but I'm also hoping that he is smart enough to make sure that he goes on over to Puffy Blankets and gets himself RUMPL. Get himself a RUMPL blanket, because that's the way to help. It's RUMPL blankets, by the way, if you didn't know. Roxy, have you tried one yet? Be honest.
I want. Where is it?
I got to get it for you.
Hook it up.
All right. RUMPL is they're in a mission. They're in a mission right now to introduce the world to better blankets. RUMPL applies performance materials typically found in premium outdoor gear and activewear to modernize a dated and boring category. They're really great. They're a perfect addition for whether it's camping, hiking, or just relaxing. I've been just watching movies with it and snuggling up, or when I go to my daughter's soccer game is when I do it. I take that. I've had the one that I had beforehand, and I have the new ones. They have these really comfy ones. They have the original Puffy, which is their #1 bestseller with over 1 million sold. RUMPL products are weather resistant, they're durable, and most importantly, they're warm. With over 135 design available, there's a blanket for everyone and everywhere. The indoor product that they have right now, it's perfect for a couch and a movie night. They have the cozy hemp blanket that is softer than your favorite hoodie. It's awesome. I love it. So you can save 25% off at rumple.com if you use that code BigThingBF and get an extra gift with a purpose. Purpose? Sure. With purchase. Rumple.com/BigThing and shop now. I love RUMPL. And as I mentioned beforehand, when you guys support RUMPL and get yourself a blanket, you're supporting the show. People say, how can we support the show? I mean, you guys don't go live, and we do live on Kristian, Harloff, and Friends, but we don't do live on this channel. I want to send you a super chat. Well, get yourself a blanket. Get yourself some coffee. Get one of those things. Look at the links below hand. That's how you support the show. All right, we're going to get into Roxy's picks here on TV. Get some TV. And before we even do that, I gotta tell you guys this. Severance.
Uh-oh.
You
So here
refused to talk to me about this before we started the show.
Because I want you to talk about it now.
Yeah.
All right. So I had finished Dark, and everyone's like, "You're gonna watch 1899?" I said, "Not yet. I'm gonna try Severance." And everybody's talking about this is the best show on television. It's so great, and I would love it. It's right up my alley. I start watching the first episode, and I tweeted out after about 10 minutes, bored out of my fucking skull. And I was like, I don't know. I'm watching it, and I'm going, I don't know. I don't think this is for me. And I was bored in the same way I was watching Lord of the Rings. Started in the beginning of the first episode. I was checking my phone. I was like, why am I checking my phone? I should be watching this show. It's like, all right, let me see if I can see if I connect to it. And Roxy wrote me back. She's like, oh no, your tweet bummed me out. She's like, I was she just you didn't like
Please.
Yeah, please just keep watching. And the audience like, keep watching. So I kept watching, getting past, and I watched the first episode, and I was on board by the time it was over.
Okay.
So I'm on episode 4 now, and I'm very intrigued. I think Adam Scott's really good in it.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Not Jason Lee. What's Arquette?
Oh,
Patricia.
Patricia
Arquette.
So
Really
good.
scary.
Yeah.
In it. And who's that? Who's the main girl? She's new.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, she's really
She's
good.
very good.
She's really good, and obviously Turturro and then Walken shows up in it. So I was on board with it, and I find myself now that I want to watch it at night. The first episode, I'm like, okay, I'll watch it because I got to talk about it with these fuckers on Thursday.
By the end, I think you're gonna be like, holy shit.
I'm on board so far, and I like where they're going with Petey and all
Just
this.
let him take the journey, Roxy.
Take the journey. So yeah, even like last night I was upset.
Don't build it up too much.
I know. Well, last night I was upset because I got back from the Willow thing.
It was too late for an episode.
I started watching a little bit. My wife couldn't find the Roku remote and started blaming me for it. And I'm like, I have this one. She's like, yeah, you took the other one. And for like 15 minutes, I'm trying to sync up the other one. I was going to have Brett come to my house at midnight to hook up the Roku. But I found myself bummed. I finished the episode. I think I'm on like episode going in. I'm either going into 4 or I'm going into 5. I can't remember. But either way, I'm on board with it. It's a good show.
It's really good.
Yeah, I like it.
It's better than good. It's great.
It's good.
All right.
It's good. So
I'm
far.
happy so far. I was worried that you don't usually do this, but I was worried that you were gonna in defiance hate the show.
I don't do that though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
like it's like
I
that.
was worried about that.
Yeah, because that's.
But his save it for the show was a very convincing he didn't like
I
it.
know. Yeah, but then he had said 4 episodes. I was like, if he hated episode 2,
then I wouldn't keep watching it.
I don't think you would do.
No, I'm interested in the story, and that's what the thing with like Willow, right? It's like, as I said, Willow is it's a story I like. It's just the mix between modern and this fantasy, kind of classic.
Why would they do that?
It's so weird, dude. When you guys see that episode and you just watch that first episode of hey, we're supposed to get married. It's weird.
That's weird.
It's such a stupid line.
Okay.
It's so stupid.
So going to Severance for a second.
Yeah.
If you guys could make the choice that they made to have an idiot and an outie, would you guys do that?
Not for my job. No, not for my job.
No, I mean I've had jobs that I would have done
Right.
that for, but not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Not for my job. I mean, I definitely want to make sure I know what the hell I'm saying on there. Especially
Imagine
after the last
doing
conversation.
entertainment shows.
Yeah, no, not knowing what the hell you just said. It's like, I mean, you could just blame it on, it wasn't me.
Wasn't
My
me.
howdy. Anyway, all right, let's get into Roxy's got some. Speaking of TV, man, let's get to the first one, Rox.
Oh
Got something
gosh.
good.
My gosh, Tulsa King. I'm so in on this show. I have to tell you guys something that is quite alarming,
Okay.
but I can't help it. Sylvester Stallone is so fucking hot in this. It's
There you go.
Wow.
disgusting.
I love it.
Like, he is sexy. This is a sexy 76-year-old man. I'm watching this. I'm like, what is wrong with me that this is the most attractive I've ever been to him when he is like a fucking gangster.
Yeah.
This show is great. Are you caught up?
No, I'm only on episode 1.
Okay. I think it gets even better. We're just living in a world that's so foreign to me, but so believable the way that they're doing it.
Right.
And it's awesome. Like, I am very invested in the story. I love gray characters, you know, the not good, not bad,
Right.
somewhere in the middle. I'm loving
It's on
this.
2 episodes, is that what you said?
Yeah.
It's on 2. So the third one's coming up this Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely need to check it. I loved the first episode, so I'm curious about the second one, for sure. That
It's
you can
2,
catch
not
on Paramount
3.
Plus.
I think it's 2, not 3.
All right, here's the next
I think
one.
so. Okay. This is the one that everybody's talking about,
Yes.
that you can't be a TV person and not be talking about this right now. It's Wednesday. It's the Addams Family show. Jenna Ortega playing Wednesday Addams, and it is just beyond great.
Why is it so good?
It's shocking to me that
Yeah.
everybody was like, this show's so good. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to watch it.
Right.
And then I checked it out and was like, this is so much fun. It's got the right energy to it. As we were talking earlier about Harry Potter stuff, it kind of reminds me of like a school. It's a school for misfits and outcasts. And it's just like perfect dialogue. The way it's shot is so great. The acting is phenomenal. You fall so in love with Wednesday.
She's great, huh?
Yeah, just like she's so charismatic, and her
Good for
best friend
kids?
is awesome. I don't understand kids.
Oh, fair.
So
Good answer.
I would say yes. I'd
But
show
you
it to
don't
my
know.
kids, but I don't
You don't
know.
have
It's
kids.
definitely a little dark.
That you know.
yeah.
No, yeah,
Oh,
I
you
guess
would know.
Yeah.
You
could have
would
came out
know.
on the toilet.
We're not sure about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to watch Wednesday.
My daughter, I asked her, she said, I want to watch Wednesday. I said, oh, will you watch it with me? And she's like, I'm like, no, please, I want to watch a show with you. She just finished it by herself last night.
Did she
she's
love
she's
it?
like, can I do the dishes later? I'm just finishing Wednesday. I'm like, you're finishing what?
She looks like if she dyed her hair brown, she could
could do
be
it.
a Wednesday.
But
Those
she
eyes.
said she wouldn't have liked to watch it with me
Why?
because
Awkward
she
stuff?
would feel awkward.
Oh.
And she said because there was some kissing.
There was no sexy time at all.
Oh.
There's like a little peck, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm like, really? But I remember
No.
being embarrassed around my parents, but that was probably
Oh,
during some
Gomez
You know
gets
what?
tossed off in the bathroom.
You know what? Morticia and Gomez, maybe she means this. Morticia and Gomez are like obsessed with each other, like
good. I
all
like that.
touchy.
Yeah.
It was is it? What a great gig for Luis Guzman because it's Catherine Zeta-Jones, right?
When it's happening, I'm thinking like, this is hysterical.
What a good
Yeah.
gig that is.
Yeah. And you can tell he's living for it.
Of course he is.
And
Luis
so is she,
Guzman
though.
is a sweetheart of a gentleman and a great. He ain't pulling Catherine Zeta-Jones in real life.
You love them so much as a
Yeah.
couple in this. It's crazy.
That's-
Like,
all right.
Oh, it's so good. You
All right.
have to watch. If it sounds even remotely appealing, you're going to love it.
It does now because of. I mean, I've always wanted to. I was curious about it, but it's so much buzz. So much
Yeah,
buzz.
yeah, it's good.
All right, Andrew Freed does it again.
Yeah, I didn't know that this was your friend. Once again, this is so weird. So
Yeah.
this
Did
is,
you not know Freed did
No,
this either?
my buddies that came into town were talking about listening to this.
Freed does it
Okay,
again. Freed's
so
King Midas, man. I talked to
on
for everybody
Netflix-
who watches Big Thing knows Andrew Freed now. Yeah.
wow.
On Netflix, there is a 4-part docuseries called Pepsi, Where Is My Jet? I didn't know anything about this and just decided, all right, you guys know, the 4 a.m, let me start watching this. So I did, and I finished all 4 episodes. It is such an interesting story, a real story that took place I guess Pepsi ran an ad once that said that for 7 million points, you could get this jet, this military-based jet. And this guy did everything he needed to in order to do it. And they were like, oh, we were kidding. It's a joke. So Pepsi sued him. He sues Pepsi. It's a whole lawsuit. And it makes you really question, like, who is right in this scenario? And it was interesting. The way they do it, too. You're just, like, on the edge of your seat, especially if you don't know what happened, which I had no idea what had happened. I wasn't happy with the end result, but that's not the doc's fault. That's
Right.
what
That's
happened
life.
in real life.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that Andrew said that when he was on the show. He's like, that's the thing that we do is that on our docs or whatever it might be, we tell you the real life story.
Yeah.
So like you might not always like the way that ends.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he said as much. I think it was one of the when he was talking about how the I think it was Last Chance U. It's one of the other shows that he does.
Oh yeah.
And he was talking about how or was it Last Chance U? I can't remember which show it was, but they were going to do a game, and COVID hit, and their season was totally canceled, and it ended with the season just being canceled.
People were pissed about it. It's like,
Yeah, but he was like, that's
how it happened.
That's what happened.
yeah, that's what
Heartbreaking.
happened. But by the time we get to the end of it, I'm like, man, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they did do a good
Right,
job.
and you
putting
met
him out.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So,
And I loved his Wrexham show.
Wrexham, and I mean, Chef's Table. I mean, he really is kicking
Yeah.
this. All right, let's see. Let's keep going. So that's on Netflix.
But a
Yeah.
horrible
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, really horrible. All right.
Yellowstone. I'm putting this on because we are like 4 episodes in now, and this continues to be one of the best shows on television. If you're not watching it and you love prestige television, this is for you. But it's definitely got a flair for the dramatics. The girl on the right, Beth Dutton,
You love her.
She is the best character on television.
Yeah, you love her.
If for no other reason, watch the show just for her as a character. She's the best character on TV. The show is really, really
You
great.
find out where to find it yet? All over the place.
Now I'm taping it on Xfinity.
Okay.
Because I don't understand. It's on. Somebody was like, "No, I watch mine on Hulu." Another person says I'm watching on Peacock. Another person says I'm watching on Paramount Plus. It's
They're
like,
everywhere.
depends which episode you're watching. The way they do that is fucking so annoying.
Yeah, sounds like it.
This is still the first season?
No, we're in
No,
the
no.
fifth.
Right.
Oh, I was gonna
First
say,
season.
like,
I think what happens is it airs on Paramount. So if I'm taping it on my Xfinity, so it's not Paramount Plus, it's Paramount.
But you can't find that. You can't find all the seasons of the Paramount Plus. That's stupid. It should all be there.
It's confusing.
All right.
It's confusing.
All right,
great
so-
business model.
The White Lotus.
Part 2.
I used to say that the first season was better than the second season. Now I think the second season
Wow.
is just as good. This show is iconic. What happens every week is like just truly mind blowing. It's also become a show that like the LGBTQIA plus community is obsessed with because it's become so queer this season, which has been a lot of fun. It's just got a lot of twists and turns and like is extremely raunchy all over the place.
Okay. How's our boy Christopher Moltisanti
He's
from The Sopranos?
amazing. Christopher. He's so great. The acting in this is incredible. It's not just him. Like, Haley Lou Richardson is amazing.
Yeah.
Theo James is awesome. Aubrey Plaza is
Everybody's
badass.
good.
Love
Jennifer
Aubrey
Coolidge
Plaza.
is just a G. Like, it is one of those shows where if it was C-list celebrities, it maybe wouldn't be as good, but
But
because
because
you're
it works,
watching,
yeah.
I mean, they're just like, this is an A-list cast.
But who's the standout? Is it F. Murray?
Well, I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you this. So John Hoey posted this the other day, and I have to agree with him. It's a great dad joke. But like, why does everybody hate Murray Abraham so much?
Oh, they do?
Why do they hate him so much? They're always writing F Murray.
It's so stupid.
I thought you were going to just tell me something real because he's not on Mythic Quest this season,
Oh,
and there's
no.
like apparently
John-
some kind of controversy or something.
John Hoey posted it out the other day. I was like,
Nice.
and he got me at first. I go, why does everybody hate him? I thought everybody loved him. And he was like, because they're always writing F Murray Abraham. I thought it was great. All right, go ahead, Roxy.
So White Lotus.
White
watch
Lotus.
this.
So check that. That's
It's
HBO Max.
really, really good.
All right,
more
last one
time.
on this one.
Dead to Me, season 3, the final season came out, and I told you guys that it would be coming out and to catch up. And if you didn't listen to me, well, shame on you because this show is awesome. The final season ends in such a beautiful, poignant, sad, disturbing kind of way. I think that this show is so good. Christina Applegate, Linda Carlini, and they are just this awesome duo, best friend duo. And it's like mystery. You don't know what's going to happen. They rounded it out perfect. It's great that it ended in 3 seasons. Don't think it should have gone on longer. Perfect ending.
Well, there you go. Those are Roxy's picks. Roxy TV got a lot of stuff coming out to check out. And before we let you go, because we're going to have one more thing I want to talk to you about. No, not that one. I did that already. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Christmas time or coming up to holiday season in general. Uncommon Goods. browse around the site. Go onto that site. Man, I get so many people who are saying I checked out Uncommon Goods and I love it. Good, because if you want to avoid those boring, basic, and bland gifts, Uncommon Goods is your secret weapon. They make your holiday shopping stress-free by scouring the globe for the most remarkable and truly unique gifts for everyone on your list. They have so many great things. The good thing about Uncommon Goods is that you support artists and small independent businesses. They look for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade in the U.S. Art, jewelry, kitchen stuff, home and bar. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same lackluster gifts that you can just get anywhere. So with a purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $2.5 million to date. Now, if you want to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/bigthing, uncommongoods.com/bigthing, and you get 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary. And I went on there, and like I said, I got my wife some gifts. I got some stuff for some peeps. So make sure you go on over there and check it out. You'll spend... Just go to the website, say, you know, I don't know if I'm going to buy anything, Kristian. Just browse around. And I guarantee you, after you're browsing around, you're going to come back with a bunch of stuff and use that code so you benefit from it.
You stocking up for Christmas?
Uh-oh. What? My stock? Yes, I am, for sure. We got a lot of stuff going on Christmas. So, you know, with the family. My favorite, I like Thanksgiving. I'm a big Thanksgiving meal fan. But it's not my favorite. And I think it's also because of what my wife makes. My wife on Christmas Eve makes baked ziti and baked chicken, and that's like, so you're gonna get me right there. And then on Christmas she makes a brisket. I'm taking brisket over turkey all day long.
I love brisket, but what kind?
Beef. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Beef brisket, baby.
Beef brisket.
Beef brisket. The Jews do some things right with food.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't get it right, like gefilte fish. Don't know what the fuck we were thinking. Yeah. We make a good beef brisket.
I'll tell you this: we had a good show here today. There's probably some more stuff that we could have talked about that we didn't get to, but we talked about Hinged. So, you know,
Unhinged.
Oh, is it Unhinged?
No, you're unhinged.
So we got more stuff. Make sure you comment. Let us know what you liked in the show, what you didn't like, all that type of things. Be nice, obviously, but let's have a conversation. Comment. We respond back, and that's it, man. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do me a favor and do that. Subscribe to the channel. Show a little. We're almost at 70. That's not true. We're almost at 60. So we're going to try to get to 70. By the end of the year, probably be tough. But we got Avatar coming around the corner, so who knows? Thank you guys for joining us on The Big Thing. For Roxy, myself, and Brett, we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.